Conor McGregor's unlimited coke hack explained.
Conor, when you go into a fight against a man like Daniel, who almost you say something to him, you know it's not going to get in his head.
Just showing the same shot over and over, the step back, backhand, and the step back, up, up. You need to either meet him or step or go forward.
I just spoke to Ricky Hatton there. He said that as a...
Man, this video is going to hit because I was just on Instagram going through Reels, and I got algorithmically rabbit-holed into old school Conor McGregor, hungry Conor, when he was on his rise to fame. I mean, the sharpness, the wisdom, the truth, there was something raw and authentic about it. Maybe it's because I got into the UFC and MMA while he was getting famous. But there's like a soft spot in my heart. I hate the arc. Well, you know, some people would say that about you too, Philion. Perhaps.
A friend of AJ's, he would like to see him retire. How do you see him?
AJ is number one.
Alright, so at first I wanted to make a pretty simple video explaining which specific people Conor McGregor's been getting his supply of booger sugar from the last few years, and I am pretty confident that I figured out who his 3 suppliers are. But the more I learned about Conor's ties with Dublin's local crime syndicates, the more I've started to believe that Conor's right about to cross the finish line of unlocking the greatest unlimited coke hack in history, and I will explain how he's pulled off.
This man's going undercover behind the Dublin crime syndicate. Holy shit. By the order of the Peaky fucking Blinders.
Off this decades-long master plan in this video. So Conor's entire scheme has to do with this guy. His name is Graham Whelan. Graham Whelan has been dating Conor's sister Eve McGregor for a couple of years now, and it seems like things are going really well between them to the point where marriage might be right around the corner. Not only does Eve love Graham, it certainly looks like the entire McGregor family love him too, seeing as just last month Graham was a VIP guest and given a seat of honor at the wedding of Conor's other sister Erin. Here's a photo of them sitting right next to each other during the wedding ceremony where Graham is completely surrounded by the rest of the McGregor family. And sure, Whelan is dating Eve McGregor these days, but the reality of the situation is that Graham has had a good relationship with the McGregor family ever since he was a kid, and he even ran in the same social circles as Conor throughout childhood. Kinda sounds like a storybook romance, doesn't it? But the thing is, though, Graham Whelan is one of the most prolific Irish drug traffickers of the 2000s, with 33 total convictions, 5 of which being for drug-related crime.
What the hell? Who the fuck is this guy?
As a matter of fact, in the year 2000, when Graham was 17 years old, he was arrested in what is considered the most infamous drug bust in the history of Ireland. Graham and 2 other members of their gang were raided and caught in the act of cutting up a huge 2-kilogram brick of Colombian marching powder, as well as 49,000 ecstasy tablets during a sting operation set up by Irish law enforcement. This crackdown resulted in Whelan getting a 6-year prison sentence, but after being apprehended, he told officers that he could do 10 years standing on his head. And it seems like his boldness in the face of the law earned him the respect of other Irish.
I forget that the Irish mob is like a serious fucking criminal organization. I'm part Irish, I think. It's just so goofy and like leprechaun coded, I don't know. When you think of like the Italian mafia, there's a code of honor, there's rules and regulations. Maybe it's more romanticized. So it doesn't really register.
Gangsters, but also inmates within the prison system as well. And upon his release in 2006, he was quickly welcomed back into the Irish crime world as a key player. And through his notoriety and his connection,
the Irish would have taken over the world if it weren't for whiskey.
with fellow gangster David Byrne, he was integrated into the notorious Kinahan cartel and quickly rose through the ranks because apparently he was very good at moving their product. Graham was so good at the art of drug trafficking that he became the chief lieutenant of the Kinahan gang's operations in Dublin, which from my understanding is a key leadership role in the Irish crime world. But in 2011, after years of being Ireland's Scarface, Whelan fled the country after it became clear he was about to be apprehended by the police. Now, this is where Conor and Graham's lives begin to intersect sect once again, and for all of the details that I'm about to tell you next, I got my information from the Sunday World's True Crime podcast.
So, Conor McGregor's brother-in-law, essentially, they're not married yet, but it seems that way, is Tommy fucking Shelby.
That's hosted by these two Irish investigative journalists who specialize in Ireland's gangland history, and
There are literally neighborhoods near me that are all kicking off because of the Kinahan cartel. What does kicking off mean?
they've made a series of episodes specifically around Graham Whelan, the Kinahan gang, and Conor McGregor. I say this because there are so many online
The Kinahan cartel sounds like the perfect place to teach my child how to be tough.
rumors and just general conflicting information online about the following events, but I'm gonna trust the
They are burning down each other's houses. Is that what kicking off means? The thing about Italians is that they made it to America and had Italy as well. But so did the Irish. In the 20th century, Irish and Italians all came to America.
professional reporters on this one, seeing as they've been investigating these events and people for years now. So in November of 2017,
Whereas the Irishmen kind of stayed in Ireland, that's simply not true. Every single cop in New York and fireman is Irish.
Conor was involved in a pub brawl in Dublin where he and some of his boys duked it out with another group of guys. In the days following the brawl, rumors began to circulate that the guys that Conor and his crew attacked—
Dude, every single person around me is half Italian, half Irish. The Irish mob was here first. Go to Boston and tell me they all stayed. What?
were members of the Kinahan cartel. Oh shit. Then almost immediately after the news of the brawl became known, none other than Graham Whelan was spotted back in Dublin for the first time in 7 years. And due to the circumstances of the McGregor pub brawl, rumors began to spread that Whelan returned to Ireland so that he could exact revenge on Conor attacking his gangmates. The bombastic nature of these rumors literally made headlines around the world as people began to think that there was a hit out on Conor via the cartel, and Graham Whelan was the
Irish mobsters being 5'6" is funny, not gonna lie. I don't know if they're all short. This guy doesn't look too small.
assassin tasked out to carry the job. Voice memos then began to circulate online where people claiming to be members of the Kinahan cartel declared that McGregor was in serious danger for attacking their gang and that his days were numbered.
Any reaction to the threats on your life?
I don't give a fuck. He said, come and get me?
Come and get me.
But the thing is, as more time—
Yo. Is that a BMW i8?
Come and get me.
That was my favorite car in 2016. And if it was not your favorite car in 2016, I would have to question how cool you were back then. I remember seeing that car and being like, that was my Lambo. I don't even know why. It was the coolest fucking shit ever when that shit came out.
But the thing is, as more time passed and the more that Conor wasn't offed by the cartel, it became clear that Graham's return to Dublin right after the McGregor pub brawl was purely coincidental, and his return was most likely due to the cartel needing one of their top performers back in the game to help with business. Then, to the disappointment of many internet conspiracy theorists, in December of 2017, just 1 month after the pub brawl, photos of Conor and Graham partying together were uploaded online, so clearly they were still on good terms. Not only that, the other two guys—
The fact that he's dating his sister, what do you mean?
in this photo are also famous members of the Kinahan cartel, so it really seems like the internet rumors of the gang coming for Conor were massively exaggerated. And it's funny because I've seen reports that Conor actually punched Graham's dad during this brawl, and even though it's never been fully confirmed that this is the truth, many reports indicate that Graham's dad was trying to break up the fight and got caught in the crossfire. So even if Conor did in fact punch old man Whelan, it seems like it was an accident, but who really knows? But the real truth of this situation is that McGregor has so many personal ties to the Kinahan cartel that not only would they not try to murder him, he's actually been a friend of the gang for a while now.
I mean, this is pretty common in the UFC, so it seems. I mean, mafias and mobs have always been around combat sports. Started in boxing. I mean, it probably started in fucking Rome. Gladiator combat. But isn't there like a Chechen general whose job it is just to like breed killers in the UFC?
First of all, he grew up in the same boxing gym alongside David Byrne, the same guy that brought Whelan into the gang in the first place. McGregor also grew up boxing next to Jamie Kavanagh, whose father was Gerard Kavanagh, who was a senior member of the gang, and the Kavanaghs also had
Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh, former boxer and senior member of the Kinahan organized crime group, run by Christy Kinahan.
Relationship with Conor's family. Then we have Paul Kavanagh, who is Jamie's uncle and Gerard's brother. Paul was a debt collector for the cartel, and McGregor was...
All these guys look just so jolly. Like, I don't know, I don't see it. I'm looking at some of the most violent criminals Ireland has to offer. Maybe I'm used to like MS-13 and TDA. Maybe it's the lack of tattoos. I don't know.
So close with Paul that he was in attendance.
Chat, am I going to be assassinated?
At Paul's funeral after he was murdered in 2015. McGregor has also taken photos with Lee Byrne, who's the son of Liam Byrne, who's literally the head of the Byrne organized crime group.
Is everyone a criminal? The Defias Brotherhood just running around?
Is a branch of the Kinahan cartel. And then we have Conor's close friendship with brothers Andrew and Jonathan Murray, who between the both of them have 66 prior convictions, and both of whom are members of the gang.
I gotta put my glasses on for this. Dude.
And regularly post photos of them flying on Conor's private jet. These are the other two guys featured in the photo of McGregor and Whelan partying together. And now that I've typed out all of these ties that McGregor has to the gang, I'm realizing now that he's not just a friend to these guys, he's basically family. Like, he's so personal.
That's it. I'm gonna tell the higher-ups in the Black Hand. I'm very sorry, Phil, it has to end this way for you. You can carry in Long Island.
Personally interconnected with so many top-ranked members of this organization that they'd probably back him up in battle if he asked them to. You know, for example, if he asked them to burn down the car of a woman who has accused him of assault, the gang would probably be happy to do him
Arsonist torch car belonging to Irish woman who claims she was assaulted on Conor McGregor's yacht in Ibiza.
that favor. Or if he asked them to break into the home of a woman who has accused him of assault, they would probably do that for him too.
I've heard about these rumors for years, but now this is interesting.
No, allegedly, of course. Okay, now don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that Conor is in the Kinahan cartel, nor am I saying that he's involved with any organized crime
Kinda are.
dealings. What I am saying is that these guys are his friends, and I'm 100% sure these are the exact people he's been getting his stash from the last few years, specifically—
That's not really what's important here. I don't really care who his dealer is.
in the form of Graham Whelan and the Murray brothers. And now that Graham is in a serious relationship with E.F. McGregor, I can't help but feel like maybe, just maybe, Conor has carefully orchestrated all of these relationships in order for him to make the ultimate score. A lifetime's worth of free cocaine! I mean, his lifelong friendship with Andrew and Jonathan Murray set him up to have a plug for coke at the snap of
Jonathan fucking Murray.
his fingers. All he had to do is keep the Murrays around and let them clout chase by posting photos and videos of all of them partying together. Then joining the same boxing gym as David Byrne and Jamie Kavanagh allowed him to develop the relationships with Liam Byrne and Gerard Kavanagh, who both became some of the most powerful leaders in the Kinahan cartel, so he was able to gain protection from the gang without actually having to do the crimes involved with joining it. I mean, how would Conor have known Liam and Gerard would become such big crime lords when he was only 12 years old? But you know, don't think about that. Last, he obviously made his sister fall in love with one of the most infamous gangsters in Irish history in Graham Whelan so that he can literally marry his way into the cartel family. Who knows how he got them to fall in love with each other, probably through shaman magic.
Do you think he's clout chasing the Kinahan cartel, or the Kinahan cartel is clout chasing McGregor? Or is this a symbiotic 69 relationship?
but whatever. This plan is fucking genius. I mean, yeah, Conor becoming the first simultaneous double champ in UFC history is impressive, I guess. And sure, selling Proper 12 for a total of $600 million is cool and all, but this lifelong...
I didn't even know he sold it for 600 mil. Holy shit.
Sure, selling Proper 12 for a total of $600 million is cool and all, but this lifelong scheme that he's crafted and carried out in order to have a 20-foot mountain of free coke that he keeps in his backyard is undeniably Conor's crowning achievement. Okay, so obviously I'm joking about my little theory here, and part of me is saying this for legal reasons as well as safety reasons.
Who cares about legal reasons? Bro said he would do 10 years on his head. Shh. They don't care about law.
In case the Kinahan cartel ever sees this video. But at the same time, is it not a little bit funny, this web of connections that Conor has to one of the most feared drug and weapons trafficking gangs in Ireland? Like, the fact that he's known so many of these guys since they were kids, and the fact that they've all become who they are today is just hilarious to me. This all just seems like too much of a coincidence to actually be—
Do you just not go to jail in Ireland? I feel like they just slap you on the wrist. And if you give them a proper Irish response, I'm not fucking doing it. You're just like let out. It's just like an Irish test.
A coincidence. Like, we've all seen what a focused, motivated Conor can do when he dedicates his life to fighting. Now just imagine what lengths he would go to in order to fulfill his one true dream in life, endless free cocaine. I'm just saying, man, in my opinion, the idea of Conor using his ambition, money, and influence in order to elaborately form all of these complex relationships in his life in order to unlock the unlimited coke glitch is not an impossibility. And the only domino left to fall for Conor's dream becoming a reality is Graham putting a ring on—
Is his beer brand actually bigger than his whiskey brand? Didn't he just like repackage Guinness? What's it called? Forge? Forge Brew? Forged Irish Stout.
On Eof's finger. But with all this being said, why hasn't this dude Graham popped the question to Eof yet? This is like some Aladdin shit, dude. Rich girl falls in love with a guy who has a checkered past. This is a gift from the gods, my man. You gotta seal the deal. Do it for Conor, bro. No, but in all seriousness, in regards to Graham marrying Eof, I do think that it's a matter of when, not if. I mean, it definitely—
They fit through the bars because there are leprechauns, my dude. I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get firebombed.
Seems like they're committed to each other, and it's obvious that he's already considered a member of the McGregor family given his seat of honor at the wedding. But man, it's gonna be a crazy day when Graham officially becomes Conor's brother-in-law. Like, this cartel chief lieutenant who is responsible for distributing drugs and weapons all across Ireland will be legally tied to the McGregor family. And you know, I'm sure that Graham wants to marry Eof, and I'm sure that Eof wants to marry Graham.
What is that name? Eof? Often anglicized. I'm so stupid. Often anglicized. Jesus Christ. As Eva.
You are looking at Julian's pronunciation guide, where we look at how to pronounce better some of the most mispronounced words in the world, like this other curious word. But how do you say what you're looking for today? We are looking at how to pronounce this Irish name, as well as how to say more interesting but sometimes confusing names too, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. How do you say it? Aoife. Aoife.
That's it? It's Aoife? Holy shit.
Graham and all, but I'm positive that nobody wants them to get married more than Conor himself. The plan is almost complete, Conor. Anyways, that's the video for today. Definitely let me know your thoughts on my little conspiracy theory that I cooked up for you guys here. Obviously, Conor has not formed and maintained all of these relationships throughout his life in order to score unlimited coke, but let me know if you think that this intricate web of connections seems a little bit too coincidental for you too. As always, if you like the video, then like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel,
Checks out to me.